Some things never change, such as getting some kind of Lego set as a Christmas gift almost every year since I was a kid, which by the way, I'm not complaining about at all. And also the fact that I'm about to crack open this ice cold Diet Coke while I'm recording. Bliss. So anyway, in today's video, we're going to be putting together this Lego set and then doing some toy photography, and then I'll be sure to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to make your photos look good, as always. But first, before we get into that, just a couple of things. Number one, I need to thank the sponsor of today's video. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for the Christmas gift. I love it. I love getting Legos every year. Thank you. And then secondly, like, look at this Christmas sweater that I snagged off Instagram. Like, how cool is this? Not sponsored, by the way, but check them out at merchoid.com. They have so much cool stuff. Like, seriously, this is probably my favorite Christmas sweater. All right, so before we open this up, I figure I should probably just give some basic details on this. Now, this is not going to be a review for this, so if you're looking for that, probably go somewhere else. Anyways, this is the 501st Clone Troopers Battle Pack. And it does look pretty sick. That did not go at all how I wanted it to. Boom, look at that. And there they are, the minifigures are done. I just want to interrupt this quick. With this channel, originally what I wanted to do moving forward was transitioning it to be pretty much all toy photography, all action figure based, but after thinking about it, I'm going to keep this channel more general photography and videography, so any like toy photography stuff or any like really specific niche stuff I'm going to try to put together in a series of videos. So this is going to be the first video of a series of just how to shoot toy photography. It'll be different figures, different Lego sets and builds and stuff. There's going to be a lot of variety on here, so I'm hoping there's going to be something for all of you to enjoy. So thanks again for watching. Not gonna lie, I can't remember if I have this one already. I might actually have this Lego set already, and if I do, I'll probably pull out that second one for these photos. Another interruption. For the R10, these are the backup batteries that I bought because at the time I was too broke to buy the actual Canon batteries. And the problem with these third-party batteries is that when you put them in the camera, the indicator on the screen telling you how full or how dead your battery is doesn't actually work. So when they're about to die, you aren't able to actually record, and I didn't notice that this was not recording, so I'm sorry about missing part of this build. I know it's super interesting. You guys are all enthralled. By the way, here's the progress so far. Boom. Look at that. That's pretty sick. Also, quick update, I did find the second one. I do have this set already. I gotta find the minifigures for it, but we're definitely gonna be using both of these for the shoot. So before we get into the shooting process here, how I set up the scene, I just want to apologize beforehand. This is after the fact. I completely forgot to turn on my microphone. So all the talking stuff I was planning on doing did not come through at all. So I'm gonna show you the scene and then I'll do some commentary that will go over top of it. So this is the aftermath of the scene after I got done with the fireworks and stuff. If you're using more expensive figures than Legos, definitely take care of them more than what I was doing. Also, be sure to pick up your trash when you're all done. I mean, that's a pretty basic thing that hopefully anyone should be following. I had a firecracker. I tried a couple different shots, one from underneath this can and then some from behind. One here, basically just kind of mimicking like what it would look like maybe in a war scene if they have like artillery and mortars coming in at them. We were running shutter speed at 1/1250, and that was to freeze the snow when it explodes. Generally, with more action stuff going on, you want to shoot at 1/1000 or faster. So that's what I shot with. Aperture is at f7.1, and that was just so we have a little bit more of this scene in focus. The lens I was using goes down to f1.8, but if we did that, the depth of field, the focus plane would have been super shallow, so a lot of these figures would have been out of focus because I wanted the cannons to be the main focus of the picture. So With f7.1, we'll get a little bit more of these guys in focus. ISO was at 320. So now that we have the photo shot, now is my favorite part, and that is editing. So for today, I'm gonna start in Lightroom first. I just prefer using Lightroom more to make the basic adjustments, and then we'll jump into Photoshop to add in some of the effects. So I am torn between two different photos. It's this one first because the blast effect on this one just looks so good. The only thing I hate about it is that this just looks so outlandish right here, but I kind of like it. The second one is this. So you can't really tell that there's a blast going on, but I really love the snow particles from the blast from the previous shot that are kind of lingering. So I'll probably edit up both of these and then post both of these. So the first thing I normally do in my editing workflow is I go down to the tone curve first, because this is where I get like my general style look. So I make an S curve, as you're seeing, by creating points around here and here. You drag this point down, so it's going to bring those darker areas down, and then this is going to bring the whites up. Then I normally taper that off just a little bit, and then with my toy photos, I really like to have that matte black look, that film look, cinematic if you will. So you achieve that by just taking this endpoint here and dragging it up. And you can tell like in these darker areas down here on the bottom, just watch how they'll get like faded out. Now that's a little bit too much for me, so I'm gonna go back down and raise it up to about there. I'm gonna crop this now. Okay, so that's definitely gonna help with the Photoshop stuff. I just cropped this a little bit so you have a little bit less dead space over here on this side. And it brings a little bit more focus into this unit right here, as opposed to this kind of being more closer to center frame. So after our tone curve is set, next I'm going to come up here and just make some really basic adjustments. I really like where the white balance is set at already, so I'm not going to mess with any of that. Next I'm going to come over and do general exposure adjustments. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit just to brighten it up, just a global adjustment. And now with that took some of our white areas and kind of blew some of these areas out. So what I'm going to do is take the highlight slider and slide it down just a titch. And you can see what it looks like. So like if I drag it all the way down, like you tell if I drag it all the way up, you can see those highlights are blowing out. Go back, we're just going to drag it down just a little bit, just get some of that highlight. I normally do like to boost my shadows up just a tiny bit, not too much. Normally, when I'm doing global adjustments, I won't make global adjustments to texture or clarity. I'll normally do those with masks, so so let's go ahead and do that. Go over to the mask tab, select subject. Okay, Lightroom did an okay job. We're just gonna go ahead and help it out a little bit. There we go, add. I'm gonna brighten these up a little bit, bring down the highlights just a titch, and then bring shadows. And then of course, we can come down here, add a little bit of clarity and a tiny bit of texture. You don't want to overdo it. Do it. Yeah, the detail is looking really nice on this. Like, look at that. So one trick you can do in Lightroom if you're batch editing photos like this, where you're in the same setting, the same kind of shot setup and stuff, you can go over here after you've made the edits to your first photo, right click, develop settings, copy settings, and then go through and select which settings you want to copy from the photo to paste over to the new one. I'm going to leave masking undone because usually the AI masking is a little bit tricky to copy over, so I just go through and redo those. So I'm going to hit copy, go over here, right click, develop settings, paste settings, and there's our look. Now we can go back over here and do our AI masks. So now once we have those edited, what we can do, select those, right click, go up to edit in Adobe Photoshop, and that'll take us over into Photoshop where now we can add on some effects. Okay, first order of business in this, I want to get rid of this down here. Okay, so what we're going to take our object selection brush up here, just go over our area like so, and we're going to hit remove, and Lightroom typically does a pretty good job at this, so yeah, like that's already better than it was, but added in the grass, so I'm just gonna select a broader area here. Yeah, look at that. Looks better already. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make a couple final adjustments to this. So we're gonna select all those, merge visible, go up to filter, camera raw filter, and now we're gonna go to our mask sections. And this is essentially just like Lightroom, but I just prefer working directly in Lightroom to make adjustments like this. So now what I like to do, I'm gonna bring the exposure down a little bit, just darken up this foreground area here. And one trick I learned from a buddy of mine, adding clarity to this, like that, like, looks so good. Okay, so now let's go over to our other one, object selection brush. I'm just gonna brush over this entire area here, get rid of it. Hit remove. Boom, not too bad honestly. Merge these layers together, filter, camera raw, masks, linear gradient, just drag up like so, darken it down, go down to clarity, and bring that up just a titch. So download some PNGs just to make this a little bit more fun. Add some different effects. I'm gonna do that. Scale it down a little bit. Make sure it's matching the correct angle there. There we go. Fun. So I'm having some technical difficulties right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and simply add this one into my other one, and then I'll see you guys back in Lightroom. Okay, so on the screen you'll be seeing the before photo and then the after photo for both of these. I'm really happy with how they turned out, honestly, considering all the technical difficulties I was having. But anyway, thanks again for watching today. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back and watching again. I would ask that you consider leaving a like and subscribing to this page so that you don't miss any content coming forward in the future. I'm super excited for everything. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.